Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? Decided to jump in like a minute here, and we will get into it. We'll do a quick roll call here. We got let's see here, Mr. G23 coming in first, and I will answer your question here in just a second. G23, Dennis Buckner, Ranger 10, CZ Shadow 2, Mai Kai, Dennis Buckner, Dirt Track 410, Pistol Pete. How are you? Bald and Curious, and we will call KO4S4. Thank you for joining. But I've got a whole list of stuff to talk about, and one of them was about the dragging them all in. The AFT. We've got to say what Joey Boy says. AFT. Um, but I mean, Jim Jordan put out an email today. I don't know if y'all saw it. Guns and Gadgets talked about it also, but he sent out an email saying he wants, all of the information provided quickly and quit dragging their ass and all this other stuff. Who knows if it's going to happen? Um, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yes, they should not be even an organization anymore. If you really think about it, it's alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. They don't do anything with alcohol. They don't do anything with tobacco. Their whole focus is firearms. So they need to go away. And they really should just be hanging out at convenience stores because that's what they need to deal with. But yeah, that's my opinion. So, hello, Lake Ozark guy. How are you? Um, and also, if what I would like y'all to do is slap that like and subscribe buttons like it owes you money. Slap it like it owes you money. But and if y'all have not subscribed or if y'all have not checked out the lock grip giveaway, please do. I'm probably going to be shutting that down pretty soon. So if you want to get entered to win some lock grips and a base plate, please do. They will fit any CZ75 full size variant. So like Shadow 2, won't fit a TSO, but like Shadow 2, SPO1, CZ75, they'll fit any of those, but they are the aluminum palm swells. I'm not going to let you pick your colors. I'm going to send you what I want to send you. But, hopefully y'all will like them and we'll be doing that soon. So if y'all want to get in on that, check out the video, just follow the rules, super easy, and you'll be entered. Let's see here. Oh, man. Yeah, but you don't need it to buy weed and meth and all that other stuff, right? Have I heard about SCOTUS 22 380 on the docket? No, I haven't. Or maybe I have, and I just don't remember the 22 380. If you want to stick it down there, you can, or I can look it up later. Also, the YouTube demonetizing videos is getting out of hand. They've hit me pretty hard. I mean, here like really recently, so I don't know if they have a new bot or a new algorithm or something going on. Last two videos, actually, one of them I haven't even put out yet. They were in the queue, ready to go, and both of them are demonetized. So I went ahead and released one because I had no choice. I tried to delete it, tried to reload it, changed some of the wording, changed all the other stuff. Nope, didn't work. So they're definitely, and they had gone in and demonetized a bunch of my other videos, my old videos that were approved. Uh, a lot of them, some of them have to do with ARs, and some of them just have to do with pistols, and they've completely demonetized them. So I don't know what's coming. I don't know if I'm on the chopping block. I have no idea, but just letting you know. So if something happens, I'm also on Odyssey. I know nobody uses that, and I sent those things out in the community tab. You can see it what YouTube sent me saying that they've demonetized those videos. People were like, "Oh, go over to Rumble. Oh, go over to this. Oh, go over to that." man, if you go to those places and like Rumble, and I've talked to other even way bigger YouTubers than me, they get no activity. I mean, people can go over and watch them and stuff if, they shit the bed or whatever. However, everybody freaking comes to YouTube. So we're trying to get the 2A message out there. So this is the biggest platform to do it on. Not saying I won't, maybe try Rumble, but I just, from talking to them, there's just no traction over there either. So I don't know. And if y'all are on Rumble, let me know what your opinion is. We're having a little bullet bourbon tonight. So cheers, everyone. Saw that vid that Mr. Guns and Gear made of the ATF stealing that Navy veteran's guns, harassing him and threatening him. Not cool. Yeah, I saw it too. That's horrible. But I'm telling you, it's probably going to get worse. That's why they need to be shut down. They do not make the laws. A lot of people don't understand that. They do not make laws. Laws that are in effect, they're supposed to, you know, I guess, keep or abide by. They cannot make laws. So all of this crap about this brace and blah blah blah, piss on them. Do what you want to do. You're a grown ass man and women. It's like somebody saying, well, I'll make up this law. You can't do this or you can't do that. Damn it, I'll do what I want to do. Let's see here. Just finished watching Honest Outlaws vid, left his M&P 2.0 outside of the elements for 3 months, and then he was shooting it from 75 yards. Yeah, I mean, I've seen other people leave guns out and there's some other videos like that where people have done that. And that's cool. I mean, I'm glad that it worked. Bald and curious, do your comps need hotter ammo? Do you have problem with your slide locking or cycling with lighter loads? Got a new comp gun and it doesn't like the light stuff. Yes, some comps actually do require hotter rounds, or you have to change the recoil spring on some of the guns, and they're mostly like Glocks. You have to do a lot of fiddling with Glocks on some of the comps, depending on the brand of comp. Like I've mentioned, some comps work really, really well, and some comps are just slide cuts, kind of like the X Macro. I'm not knocking it, but they're not true comps, like a screw on where it's really around the barrel completely, like on the end of the barrel. So yes, you will have to change recoil springs on some guns. Like my PO7, PO9s, they don't require it, but some you have to run a lighter spring in it. My my Staccato C2, you didn't have to. On my P, I really didn't have to, but I actually did put a lighter one in it just to try it and actually like it even better. So I just left it in there. It cycled on both springs. Glocks are very finicky about them. Those are probably the ones that are Glock type clones, or Glocks are probably the ones that you have to tune the most. So I don't know what kind of gun it is. You said you got a new gun, I guess. But if you run 124, they're all pretty reliable. But if you run 115, you can have issues with them. But all of my comps that I currently have right now, even on my Glock and everything, they work really good with 115, because 115, I guess it actually produces more gas because it has, is it more gunpowder? I guess maybe. But I can kind of tell that it works on 115, 124, 147. 147s are powder puff loads anyway, personally, in my opinion. I don't really shoot a lot of 147, and I damn sure don't carry it. But, to each their own. Hey, Pranik, how are you doing, man? I appreciate you coming on. Hello, Abigail. It's Abigail. It's a piece of plastic. Piece of plastic never made anything different. Like bump stocks and all this other crap. I probably shouldn't say that word or I'll get banned. But whatever. Exactly, Marshall. You're exactly right. They're just letting them have a free-for-all and thinking they can do what they want to do, and they can't do what they want to do. That's why I'm saying the first person, if you're ever busted for something like that, it's not a law. It's something they've made up. So you don't think you could win? I mean, so just because somebody comes up with some idea doesn't mean that it's a law. It's an idea, or it's, what they're wanting you to follow. Well, if we all followed dumb people, we'd all be dead. So I look at it that way. Scored 4 boxes of carry ammo and 500 rounds of practice ammo. Awesome. Yeah, it's never a bad thing to load up. Yeah, there were some decent Black Friday deals. I had the lock grips 20% off that I threw out there. And, I had a lot of people use it, but not as many as they normally do on Black Friday. So I don't know if it's just how finances are going right now for a lot of people. Could be. Hello, Scott. How are you? Long time no see, brother. Are they going to ban belt loops next? Yes, I've said that many times. Belt loops, sticks, rubber bands. You can do the same thing with all of those. It's not hard if you know what you're doing. So, matter of fact, I did a video a long time ago using a belt loop and a rubber band, and that video was taken down and not by me. So, whatever. But yeah, YouTube, just so y'all know, YouTube's coming after me pretty hard. They hit the last 2 videos instantly. I mean, I didn't even put them out, and they were already demonetized instantly. The last chat we did, last week's chat, was demonetized instantly. And I've noticed if they're demonetized, I've had people emailing me or leaving comments saying, because I put these are demonetized, and people are like, well, I see ads. Well, I'm not putting those ads in there. YouTube, and they came out a long time ago and said, if we demonetize your video, we can still run ads. We can do what we want. So, it is what it is. And it is their platform, unfortunately, so we don't have a say in it. Hello, Bagger Bro. How are you, man? Picked up a Taylor and Company 1911 for PSA for $2.99. That's a good deal, man. I've seen the Taylor and Company before. I've seen their, what is it? I saw one that they did that was really cool. I don't have any experience with those guns. I've never personally shot one, but I played with them. It was what is that coating? Where it's kind of like a tarnished look. I forget the damn name, what they call it. It's an old school coating. Kind of like case hardening, and it looked pretty cool. Wow. Hello, IBG. Good evening, all. There are now over 20,000 people in the queue in Oregon. That is insane. That is insane. Oh, they're made by Armscore? So they are Rock Island. Okay. Pranic saying Rumble is getting bigger. Steven Crowder had 400,000 on a live stream for midterms. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, Crowder pulls some serious people. So that's really cool. Were you just talking? Why the hell are they demonetizing? Well, I well, put it this way, in this last video, if you saw it, it's on a break, and I actually do shoot it, and I shoot it really fast, or pretty damn fast. Maybe they got scared by that. I don't know. But it was all safe. It was at a range. I abided by all their rules and everything. I didn't do anything wrong, and I just showed the part off, showed one of the parts off the guns. So I don't feel there was anything wrong. Hell, I didn't even cuss in it. So I don't know. The only thing I said is slap that like and subscribe button like it owes you money. So maybe they didn't like that idea. I don't know. Piss on them. Whatever. Hello, Snowman. Picked up a Smith & Wesson 1911 ESC on Monday. Testing it this weekend with my new P320 Max. Cool, man. Yeah, Odyssey is nice. I haven't personally, I know it just transfers over like what you're saying, it automatically goes over live on YouTube. However, I've never uploaded straight to Odyssey. I know you can, I just haven't done it. But I don't really get any traction over on Odyssey, and other people that I know that are big channels on YouTube, they don't either. So, or maybe not every one of them, of course. I only have talked to a few of them, but I've been thinking, there. I would think that there would be some kind of, and if you remember, and I haven't even heard of them anymore. And I had my name registered and all that crap for that. What was that one that Mac, I guess, was part owner in or something? That big gun channel thing that was going to take off, and I don't think it ever did. I don't even mess with it anymore. I don't even know my damn password for it anymore. Lake Ozark guy, Sig P226 Legion 40 cal today was advertised as new. Never been shot. I noticed the takedown lever was loose. Is that normal? How big of a deal is it to get fixed? It's not a big deal. And if it's a little loose, it's not a big deal either. I've seen them loose before. And if they have the box, you could actually look at the box and see when the make date or when it was made or manufactured. And the warranty is on the gun, not on the buyer. So, if it's something that's really bad, SIG should warranty it as long as it's in their warranty criteria. However, they've told me to pump sand one time when my shit was still under warranty. So I told them to eat shit and bark at the moon. And I talked to 3 different people there. But apparently they had seen my video and I had bashed them and they didn't like that. So that's what I later found out. But who knows? Full 30. That's it, AA. Thank you. Yeah, full 30. Yeah, I had the name registered, Big Johnson Guns and Gear. It was approved and all that, and then never heard shit from them. Hello, David. How are you? Ever welded 2 mags together for extendos. Can't find bigger mags or extensions for aliens. Hell, you could get probably a TIG welder. I know some people could probably do it. I don't know how well it would function, and you would have to get a good power spring to run that thing correctly. But I'm sure Springer Precision might have a spring that would run it. Hello, Brian. How are you? Brian says didn't get your notification tonight. First time for that. Well, Brian, I think I'm in the doghouse with YouTube. That's what I was talking about earlier. They've been demonetizing a bunch of my videos. So who knows? Something might be coming for me, but whatever. What's an overhyped gun that flopped? In my opinion, recently is that Smith & Wesson CSX. This is my opinion. The trigger shit. It's got a false reset in it, a really bad false reset. They advertised it as a small 1911. That's far from a 1911 trigger. It's freaking 6 pounds or 5 pounds. It's tiny as hell. They didn't put the grips in the right place, in my opinion. These are all my opinions. So if you've got that gun and you like it, I'm not trying to piss anybody off, but I really honestly think that was a big miss. And there's other ones out there, but that's the one I can think of. Yeah, okay. I guess Dennis Buckner is right on the same page as me. Oh, here's another thing. The Prodigy, yeah, you're right on some. Smith & Wesson Metal Frame 2.0, and I agree with that. Matter of fact, Humble put up a poll today, and I knew this, but I guess he brought it to everyone's attention that the metal frame is only 2 ounces heavier than the polymer frame, but yet it's $800 or $900. And here was my exact response. You can go read it on the comments. I said, latest and greatest is just a word. And I said, basically, it's the same clown car show wrapped in tinfoil. And, I was being a smartass with alloy frame, and I'm not hating on Smith and Wesson. I actually like their guns a lot. It's just, 2 ounces heavier. That's not really. I know it's alloy, but it's not that big of a deal, and you shouldn't charge $900 for it. I mean, it's just. I know they're going to come way down. I don't think they're selling like they need to. But you know, yeah, Bald. If that gun would have came out, I think it would have sold a lot. We can all agree. I think you were going to buy one. I was probably going to buy two of them, the full size and the regular or the compact, if I could fit my hand on it. But I was definitely going to buy the full size. So I was super excited about that. Plus, it took PO9 mags, which I've got a shitload of. The compact took CZ75 mags, which I've got a shitload of. Even the compact ones, I still have a lot of the compact mags. So, but it never happened. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. So who knows? But if the DWX comes out, I would probably still buy it. But Scott, I'll say this: I really do. We've talked about this before. I've been through the gamut of guns. A lot of people on this chat have. I really do enjoy an alloy or a steel gun. I really do. Nothing wrong with them. But with the polymer grip, even on a staccato, with the polymer grip, you do get grip flex, which actually aids in recoil. A lot of people don't know that, but it really does. So when you have the polymer grip, like you shoot a polymer gun or polymer gripped gun, and then you shoot an all steel gun, the polymer gun kind of feels like, I'm not recoil sensitive, but it feels a little less recoil because the grip is absorbing a lot of that recoil in the polymer grip. So that's why polymer absorbs the recoil. Um, it is what it is, but Hudson H9, yeah, that was a big flop. Yeah. And I was really excited about that gun when it first came out, and I even played with a few of them. I know KS had problems with his back when, if y'all remember. Still wears the best, no question. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big, and I've talked about this. I've got the Tanfo stock too. Um, my favorite finish is hard chrome. I've said that 1,000 times on chats, on videos. Um, hard chrome is just an awesome finish. It's really hard to. You might get a little brush scratch here and there, but they wear awesome holster wear. They don't show. Um, I mean, they're just incredible finishes. I wish more guns were made in hard chrome, honestly. Yeah, equalizer, and I thought about this, and I'm not knocking the equalizer because I've never shot it. I've never even put my hands on it, but it kind of looks like Smith and Wesson had a lot of parts left over from the EZ, and they had, some of those parts left over, and maybe some parts left over from the Shield Plus, and they're like, hey, let's throw a gun together, and that's what they did. But I don't like that name either. No, hard chrome is a very, very difficult coating to do. I even talked to some platers because here was my thing. When I got the Shadow 2s, I bought 3 of them. When I got the Shadow 2, I'd talked to 6 different companies, Fire for Effect, I mean, all these different companies, even coating companies. I was trying to get or have a Shadow 2 hard chromed. And I mean, they were like, man, we can try, but we don't know, and blah, blah, this. And, then when we go to put it back together, with the coating, it might not work. And I'm like, well, you can, buff all that down. I mean, I was willing to pay a lot if I could get it. And everybody was just like, we don't want to do it. Like I said, I think I talked to 5 or 6 different companies trying to get it done. Local companies in Dallas, there were like 2 of them. I talked to a guy in Oklahoma that does hard chrome. There was a place in Colorado, I believe, that did it, and I think there was one in Vegas that did it, and all of them told me kind of to pump sand in a nice way. Grand power. Hello, Norwood. How are you? Yeah, I knew Wilson Combat used to. They had them on one of their like full size models, but yeah, from what I understand, it's like really, really hard to do. But I think it looks awesome. Yeah, and I will say I really love MPA. I mean, they do the brushed, kind of like a brushed aluminum. It's not really a hard chrome, but they do offer one in kind of like a rainbowed hard chrome. It's kind of, they call it a chameleon. You can go on and check it out. It's really, that coating is spectacular. And if I would have known that, they didn't come out with it till later after I had already gotten mine. But they have a video where they're showing a MP9 hybrid, DS9 hybrid, like my big one, and it's in the chameleon chrome. And man, it looks badass. I mean, that thing is super impressive. That's probably one of the coolest ones I've seen recently. But I wouldn't say, hey, can you take my shadow too and hard chrome it? They'd probably go, we don't want to mess with that shit. Well, we've talked about this before. I think that Smith and Wesson, and they are trying to come out with some newer things. I think Smith and Wesson, Glock, there's some of these other ones that are just kind of sitting on what they already have, and they're going to sell. But I just think if they could really come out with some really cool stuff, and hell, CZ, man, they've been sitting on their ass for a long time. Um, they just now came out with the TSO bull barrel, which should have been out 1,000 years ago. Um, Damn, got a hole in my lip. Um, they should have had those out a long time ago, but they just now came out with a bull barrel. Tanfo has been making the coned bull barrel for quite a while. Hello, Double B. How are you? DC, I think you know my answer. I think you know my answer. But yeah, we can still send all these billions and billions and billions of dollars to you know who. I think it's laundry time for some of that stuff. I think that's what they're doing. Yeah, Glocks are a nice entry level gun. Not knocking them at all. If it came down to a Glock, like if I was looking for a Glock type gun, I would definitely get the Shadow Systems over a Glock, a stock Glock, because of their optic system and everything are really, really nice. Yeah, I love that little DS9, the MPA DS9 Commander. It's a great pistol. I just, did that video on it. And also, I know that if you look at a lot of my videos recently, prior to these ones being demonetized, I mean, I know that there's been some shadow banning going on too because the views have just not been there. Not saying I'm a great content creator or anything like that. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but um, you know, they've just really plummeted. What do I think of the CZ configurator? Is that where you go in and can build a gun? I guess I haven't played with that. I'm not familiar with the configurator. Grand Power. Yep, I've said this. Everybody should own a Glock. SHTF, that's what you need is a Glock. Or, at least need to have one of them. Norwood is saying Big Johnson, LMA about to get a LWRC SMG 45 and the Bull Armory UL 2. 9mm, you think they're good choices? Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good choice. Uh, on the 45 ACP, this is my opinion. I've shot tons of 45 ACP bullpups and PDWs and stuff like that. In my opinion, I would rather have a 9mm PCC slash PDW. 45, there's nothing wrong with it, but it is a heavier bullet. It's definitely slower on velocity. Um, if you've got to go pretty far with it, say even 100 yards, you're going to have a shitload of bullet drop because I've done it. I mean, that thing's going to drop like a stone. So you better definitely have it dialed in. Whatever, if you're using a prism scope, a red dot, whatever it is, you need to definitely have it dialed in. I would personally go with a 9mm. That's just me, or at least a 10mm. At least a 10mm. 9mm is more common, and I love 45 ACP. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But in a PDW, I mean, you can still kill pigs with it. You can do what you want to with it. It's just, I would want more velocity personally. And y'all don't forget to tune in to Chris. He's got his chat at 8 o'clock over on the Chris from the 740. Yeah, Glocks run. Okay, I'm going to let y'all read this comment. I'm just going to let y'all read it because I'm not going to read it out loud because it will definitely get popped. But Brian's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. Well, Pistol Pete, I definitely know what you're saying. What I am seeing, and of course, I'm currently, I've had a third interview with one yesterday um, for basic task jobs. Yeah, they're all out there and they'll hire anybody in the world. For, management type jobs, it's not as easy as you think it is. There are a ton of them out there and there's a ton of people applying. But when I apply, like even on LinkedIn and, Indeed and all these other places, you'll see like 900 people and they're hiring one person. So they've gotten 900 resumes. So it's definitely not easy for. It's easier for an entry level person, but It's in different fields. It's difficult. So, hello, Chris from the 740. How are you doing, man? Yeah, and that's DC. That was actually going to be the DWX. That was going to be their gun. Now it wasn't CZ. It was Dan Wesson. However, I was hoping that CZ and Colt would get together, or even brand that as a Colt 1911 slash DWX, but that didn't happen. Well, Abigail, if you keep up with financial, it's that's why a lot of people have offshore accounts. So that's a reason. There's a lot of laws that you can circumvent. That's the reason. Once it leaves our country, they can wash it quick. The real estate industry is hurting in the Northwest. I've gotten resumes from people. I haven't worked for years looking for a job. Yeah, I mean the industry. There's a lot of different industries out there that are they're definitely weird. Yeah, 10mm PCCs are cool. Yeah, CZ bought Colt. Yeah. DC, what wasn't FTX funding? Look at this last election. The face you make when your laundromat is being attacked. Hello, Abraham. How are you? Have you seen the Shadow Systems Warrior Poet collaboration stuff? Yes, I have. The small one and the medium, MR920, I believe. Yeah, well, anything that you put their name on it or a name on it, they've got to pay that person too. It's kind of like the Terran Tactical stuff. I mean, you are a big chunk of that's going to that person. And crypto, yeah. Yeah, and Shadow Systems is in Plano, Texas, so they're actually very close to me. So, and I love to support Texas companies. Yeah, Pistol Pete, that's what I was saying. 9 millimeter. I just did a PCC video that y'all haven't seen yet, um, and I was flying through rounds quick. So it you can definitely eat up some ammo. There isn't enough legal businesses that deal in the amount of cash to launder that kind of money being handed out to war-torn countries. Only way to wash money is big countries that deal in cash. Yeah. I mean, think about Mexico, think about Russia, think about all this stuff in the past, China. I mean, it's not, it's been happening forever. The cartels. Like I said, I've got a bunch of stuff here I want to get on with y'all. Oh, also, anybody interested in the new Canik rival? I don't know if y'all saw or not, but Canik is going to make a stainless steel model, and it's a direct knockoff of the Walther Black Tie Edition, so it's all steel. It's going to come in the brushed aluminum or the black model. Optics ready. Has anybody interested in something like that? So it's basically a Canik rival, but it's all steel. Now I don't know if it's going to be alloy or because you could say steel and that could mean aluminum or actual steel. So I don't know that yet. But it's going to be striker fired, of course. Anybody interested in anything like that? Just curious. They're saying the price should be like around $900 or so. They're going to offer it like in a combo pack where you can get a holster, a red dot, the gun, like 3 or 4 mags. I don't know what the price of that pack is, but they're going to have it in different packs. Would anybody buy that? Just curious. Um, what is it? LWR Road talked about it or shown pictures, but I had actually seen a picture of it that I guess was a sneak peek or something. But I think it might be pretty cool. Okay. Pros and cons on striker and hammer. Um, Here's the biggest one. If you carry appendix, which you can do, okay. If you now, what I always recommend doing is put your gun in the holster, and then put your holster in your pants, especially for newbies. So now, but if you're at the range and you're drawing the holster and shooting, look the gun back in always. But on a hammer fired gun, you can actually put your thumb on the back of the hammer. So as you're putting it in your holster, if anything were to hit the trigger, it's going to try to move the hammer. But if you got your thumb on it, it won't move it. So that's one thing there. Now, of course, single action, either way, but you should use your safety if it's a single action. So that's one thing. Pro on hammer. Also, second strike capability, meaning if you had a bad round, a bad primer, so you pull the trigger, it does not go bang. On a hammer gun, you can pull it again. On a double action, single action, you can pull it again, and it should send that round off. If not, you just got a bad primer. You can't do that on striker fire. You've got a racket, which is going to eject the round. Um, you know, I have tons of both. I really enjoy both. If you have a lot of striker fire guns already, I would highly recommend a double action, single action gun. So, because your first pull in double action, also for if you're new to carrying, if it's a double action, single action, and you pull it out, your first pull is going to be heavier than a striker fire, a lot of striker fires. Um, could be 6 pounds, 7 pounds, whatever on the first pull. Then after that, you're going into single action. So that can help. And then also with double action, single action, you are going to, if you already know striker fire, you're going to learn another platform or another trigger group. And I always recommend everybody having a double action, single action, a striker fire, and a single action. Not necessarily a revolver if you don't like or if you don't want or excuse me, not just a revolver, but if you don't want just a double action only gun, I don't really require that as a must, but I think you should know striker fire, double action, and single action. That's my opinion. Hopefully that helps. I've said that many times, Bald. I need another gun as much as I need a hole in the head. I totally get that. Hello, Fina. How are you? Long time no see. Fina is saying, Big Johnson, what do you want for Christmas? Honestly, I just want everybody to be happy, healthy, love one another, be with your families, all that stuff. I don't need a thing. I really don't need a thing. I mean, of course, I would love to have a job. Um, good Lord, hopefully will bless me with one. But I don't need a thing. I just need health, happiness, and my family, everybody to be good. That's all I need, and y'all to be good. I'm happy with that. Well, I agree with that. I definitely will agree with Bald on that one. Could be before. I don't know if y'all have heard a rumor. Uh, there is a theory, and it's a C theory. I'm not going to say the word because, we're all tinfoil hat wearers if we say that word. But somebody brought up a valid point or a comment that I heard. I'm going to run it by y'all. Okay, they're saying Nancy Pelosi will go out and then she will be offered like head person of Italian affairs or something like that. Then Kamala all of a sudden will have to step down for some reason. So old Joey boy will appoint California boy, Mr. Gavin Newsom, as the vice. And in a few more months, then Joey will step down and Gavin will step up. I was like, wow. Because they're saying they want him in there so bad that they think that's the only way that that could happen. And this person who made this theory is actually in politics, high level politics. So, what do y'all think about that? Pretty wild. Brian is saying hammer fired guns have less recoil. When the slide comes back, the trigger resets, absorbs a bunch of recoil. I don't really notice that as much. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not recoil sensitive. I am pretty handsy feely, and that could very well be. I just haven't noticed that personally, but it very well could be. Texas is a republic, an independent nation with treaties and other nations. We don't need the government. We don't need any other state as Texas. Y'all remember, we can fly our flag just as high as the U.S. flag. Some people might not know that, but we can. A lot of people that are true people don't hide or fly it higher or equal to the United States flag. We don't need anybody. We don't need the government. The government needs us as Texans. Thank you, Pistol Pete. I definitely hope so. I've been praying. And like I said, I've had some really good interactions. I've had 3 interviews, met with all the powers to be, and now I think all 3 of them have to get, the last I heard, all 3 of them. I just had it yesterday morning at 7:30 my time because they are in the Eastern time zone, so they were an hour ahead of me. So basically now all 3 of them have to meet to talk about me, and this is for a upper, management type deal. So they all three have to meet about me, and then I guess they'll all give their decisions. I thought all three of them went really awesome, but you never know. I don't count my eggs till they hatch. Yeah, he's related to them. Yeah, hell yeah, they are. They've been doing it forever. And that's what I think, Brian. That's exactly, when they said that, I was like, you know what? That would be crazy. Because if he got in there and did something, then all the people would be like, oh, he's great. Let's vote for him again. So I don't know. I mean, it's just a theory. So he's an idiot. You're exactly right, Mike High. Exactly. I thought that when I first saw him way back when. I was like, remember that movie, American Psycho? That's exactly what I thought about. Yeah, Pistol Pete, I'm sorry. CJ is actually saying PO1 Omega thoughts. PO1's a great pistol. It's actually a fantastic pistol. If it fits your hands, which I have XXL hands, it doesn't do well for me. I've owned them, and they're great pistols. However, if you want to do any upgrades, meaning change out the trigger, put a spring kit in it, Cajun Gunworks kit, something like that, I would recommend the standard PO1, the non-Omega, because you can do tons of changes. You can put the Shadow 2 trigger in it, where it's the flatter trigger, but you can do tons of upgrades. On the PO1 Omega, it already comes with a flatter trigger, which I prefer. I don't like those little hook-ass triggers. But there's less upgrades you can do to a PO1 Omega. You can still change the springs and do some things like that. Also, the safeties on the side, like the decockers, they're located in a different position. So on the PO1 Omega, with my hand size, it actually digs into my knuckle on the Omega. The other one, the standard one, does not. So that's something to consider, but they're both fantastic guns. I've said that many times. I've said that many times. I said if we shut it off and just ran our own deal and just did what we wanted to do with our own land, they honestly couldn't have shit to say about it. But, who am I to say anything? Hello, Trigger Bar. How are you? Yeah, and my Kai is right. It does have a better trigger out of the box if you're not going to upgrade it, but you can upgrade a standard PO1 really nicely if you choose to. I had the PO7 Omega. The trigger was gritty as hell. It will be gritty as hell for at least 200 to 300 rounds. After that, it smooths out. My PO9s are the same. The PO7s and the PO9s take about 300 plus rounds to get a little smoother. I've got thousands and thousands around, and mine are freaking butter. And I haven't upgraded one thing. All of mine are stock, and I can shoot them great. So it just, and your first pull is going to be tighter, of course, unless you put springs in it. Wow. David is saying, man, someone I know is trying to convert a Remington 870 chambered in 410 to a 4570. Hope he succeeds because I want one too. Wow. Okay. Never seen anybody do that, but hell, anything's possible. I don't know if you've seen a lot of conversions, but there is a 12 gauge conversion where you can take a 12 gauge. It's kind of like a cap, and you put a 22 in it, and then you can shoot a 22 out of your 12 gauge. I'm like, what the hell? But people are doing it or have done it with that conversion thing. But yeah, 4570, I was going to say 4570 is a ton of pressure. So you might blow a barrel up. Wanted to share some things with y'all. The comments on YouTube that I'm getting, I posted something up and it was just something simple. And it said, like, hey, if you see during these holidays and shopping, if you see a woman and some children, walking to their car with groceries or packages or whatever, just keep a look on them, make sure they get in the car okay. If you see them walking across the parking lot. This guy came after me for making that little meme, and it wasn't a negative meme, it was a positive. Hey, let's just all look out for other people's families. Like if somebody, I don't care if a man was with them or not, walking out to their car, you want them to be safe. You don't want anybody to rob them or do something stupid. And if so, hey, if you're willing to step in and help out. That's all I said. This guy went off. His first comment was, well, if it's to her and the family, then she obviously did that man wrong and dumped him, and she deserves if something happens to her. And I was like, what in the hell? And I actually said something like that, like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? I said, what if it was your wife out shopping when you weren't with her? You wouldn't want somebody to help out? And then he's like, well, my wife and kids, the courts took them away from me. And he went into this complete meltdown. And I was like, whoa. And I listened to him. I wasn't negative. And I was like, man, sorry that happened to you. I hope you get, the help that you need. I hope you get relief. I hope you get this sorted out. And then he's like, you don't care about any of the men out there. This guy doesn't know me from Adam. He's not even a normal subscriber. He completely went off. And he let this comment like this long and said, you're going to delete this comment. I don't delete comments. I leave them. Even if they're negative or positive, I leave them. Well, anyway, I responded with a comment about that long back to him. And then he deleted the comment that he said that I was going to delete. And I was like, what in the fuck is going on with this guy? So basically he was having a meltdown. I was actually trying to talk him through it, saying, hey man, if you need to talk, let's talk, I'm here. And then he just basically called me an idiot and that I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. And I mean, over a simple post of, hey, watch out for a young lady or an older lady with her family, and let's look after one another. That's all I said. And he went off. But anyway, what's up, Floridian? How are you, man? Why do CZs 75s come with those crappy rubber grips? Because they're cheap. They are a palm swell, though. I will say that. That is a palm swell. So if you want to know what the lock palm swells feel like, that's what they feel like as far as ergonomics. But yes, they suck. But they're cheap as hell. That's why they use them. Yeah, he does need therapy. And yes, a lot of people like rubber grips. A lot of people, I remember back in the old days when everybody used Packmeyer grips on everything. Hell, I even had them on 45s because they were so cool. So I even fell into that thing. The Packmeyer single grip where you'd wrap it around the 1911s and put it on there, but whatever. Yeah, and that's like I said, Mike, I was trying to help the guy out. I'll talk to anybody because I didn't know if he was on the brink of doing something to himself or just, being weird. And I was like, hey, man, let's talk about it. I'm here to help you. If I can help you talk through a bad time, I want to try to help you out. I'm not a bad guy. I want to help everybody, whether it's gun related or not gun related. Yeah, and that's what I was meaning, Arturo. I mean, there's like people that just sit in parking lots in cars and they're like, hey, there's a lady I could take advantage of and steal all her Christmas presents. Or hell, there's people even stealing groceries. Like when people push grocery carts out, they're stealing all their damn groceries. So that's why I made the comment like, hey, let's look out for one another. Because if I happen to not be with my wife and she was at the grocery store or buying something somewhere, and somebody stepped in to help out, I'd be very grateful. So that's all I was meaning. Online psychologist, man, Bald, you all know, or everybody knows, we're definitely in a different time when I grew up. Social media and all this stuff and things that are happening, they've got people rattled. Matter of fact, I had a conversation with Harry today, Harry's Holsters, a really long conversation today about people that just can't sit and talk to people at a in a restaurant. They're all doing this, playing on their phones. I mean, there'll be 9 people there, and all 9 people are on their phones. It's like the conversation is non-existent. The presence of camaraderie or enjoying people to talk and stuff. Oh, I'll text you my problems, or I'll text you. It's like, man, put the damn phone down and freaking interact with people. For one, you're at a restaurant talking to friends and all supposedly friends. It's like, have some couth and put your damn phone up. But people are just freaking losing their mind, man. Just help out people. Good Lord. I don't ever post stuff that I do, but I give a lot of stuff to charity. I help out people. We all should. Hell, I don't even have a job, but I'm still way more fortunate than a lot of people right now. And hell, even saying hello and opening the door for somebody. That's just a damn nice thing to do. All right, I did want to show y'all a couple of things that I got. One, I'm not going to pick up because it's freaking big. But I did have a company. These 2 companies have been reaching out to me forever. I told them to pump sand many times, but they wouldn't stop. So one company, and it is kind of a cool product, but I really got to test it, and I just got it in. But it's one lathe. It's called an NV100 Plus. And what it is a scope. So it's a full-blown scope. And then it has night vision that actually snaps onto the back of the scope, so you can use it as a night vision monocular. It has an infrared built in it, so you've got your light in it. It will go out to like 300 yards. So if you want to just use it as a monocular or put it on a tripod, you can. And you can actually, if you're night hunting, or if you just want to walk around and look at people at night, I guess you could. But you snap it on the scope, and then it becomes part of the whole unit. You can record on it, voice and recording. Runs on batteries, all of these other things, but it's called a one lathe NV100 Plus. Looks pretty cool. It's like $4.99, so it's budget friendly compared to some of my thermals that are very expensive. And it's a thermal scope. They call it a night vision, but so we'll see how that works. I'm going to put it on a rifle and play around with it, see what I think about it. So I'll let y'all know what I think. And then also, I had this company. I'd never even heard of them. I'll show y'all here if you can see it very well. But it is called a VOT-ATU HL10 series weapon-mounted light. So it's kind of like a knockoff of the Streamlight TLR7. They're claiming 800 lumens. Here's where it's made. So I'll show you that. There's the back if you want to see it. I don't think it's zooming or getting in very good, but there it is. That's better. So I told them, I said, if you want to send me this and me to test it, you can't just send one. You got to send 2. And they said, why do we have to send 2? And I said, if you're not going to send me 2, don't send it. And they said, why? And I said, because I'm going to test one, and then I'm going to beat the shit out of the other one to see durability test it. So I'll probably throw it up in the air a bunch, maybe freeze it in water, see what it does. It does have a charger on the bottom. So kind of like the lights I don't use anymore and haven't in a long, long time. So it charges that way. But we're going to test it and see what the hell I think about it. I'm not saying they're bad. I don't know. But they've been wearing me out. So I was like, if you want to send it, I'll test it. And I'm going to give an honest opinion, good or bad. And I'll test it against probably the light. I'll test it against the Surefire or Streamlight TLR7. I've got the subs. I have 2 of the subs and 3 of the 7As. I've got the old 7As and the new 7As. I've got the TLR8 and all of that. So I'll test it against some of those and see what I think as far as lumens, candela, flood, all of that. So if y'all want to see that, stay tuned for that. I'll do that in a while. The one leaf night vision scope, I just got that in last week and they've already sent me an email. Have you tested it yet? I'm like, what the hell? Leave me alone. But I'm gonna test it. And is the charger proprietary? Yes, but it does come in the box. I mean, it snaps on there and it just goes into like an iPhone charger, so it looks like it's pretty standard stuff there. But But we'll check that out and see what I think about it. But let me make sure I haven't missed anything. I love the TLR 7A, the sub and the 7A. The 7A is my favorite, even over the sub, because the sub's a little fatter. And I've had thousands of people ask me if they'll fit in the same holster, the TLR 7A and the TLR 7 sub, and they will not fit in the same holster. So you've got to get brand specific between the sub and the other. But anyway, it is as well, or it is. Brian, yes, I do know him. How we just talked about him last week. He has night vision rigs that cost over $35,000. Yes, I don't know if you know this, but he's sponsored by them and actually does repair for a lot of those companies. So that's his business. So just to let you know, if you look when he does his videos inside, he actually has like a repair area. So I think that he works for a lot of those companies. I don't know this for sure. Well, I don't want to speak for him, but he is in the business. Let's just put it that way. Big J, a lot of air gunners use that one leaf. Yes, I've seen some of the videos. I watched theirs just to get opinions on them. They're shooting rats and stuff with them and stuff. So I still don't know which rifle I'm going to put it on. I've got an idea, but let me know. Y'all probably know which rifles I have, but what would you put it on? Would you put it on a 308, 5.56, 22? What would y'all put it on? Y'all know what I have. I carry the TLR1 HL for the extra candela. Yeah, I have a bunch of the TLR1 HLs. I love them. However, the new Surefire Turbo, I've got a video on it. That thing is a candela monster. It's got 66,000 candela. It is a freaking monster. It looks like a damn lightsaber coming out of there. And I've got a video where I'm comparing it against the regular Surefire. On Gunbroker, looking for a CZ75 or CZ97 BD. Someone's selling for $1,200. Yeah, Dennis, they don't make them anymore. So, I mean, I've already had people offer to buy mine. A bunch of people offer to buy mine. I knew it was going to happen when they quit making them. Let's see here. Can't say what to put it on until I know what prey you're killing. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I want to, kind of get an idea of what I'm looking at. The only thing is the ones that I've used, the night visions. I mean, I've got, excuse me, not night vision. I've got thermals. Y'all have probably seen them. The clip-ons that I've seen, you've got your scope. So you've got your scope with your eye relief, and then the clip-on goes on the front, so it snaps on here. Well, this one, you've got your scope here, and then it clips on here, so it clips on at the back. So you've got to move your scope all the way up to the damn rail, or you're going to be like this after you do your clip-on. So you're going to be standing there like this, and I'm like, why the hell didn't you put it on the front? But I'm just going to test this one and see. I've only used the ones you clip on the front of your scope, and then I've used the units by themselves. That's what I have. But like I said, this is a budget type friendly one, and it seems to work pretty well from what I've seen on the videos. But I just want to test it, see how it does on my own, and then I'll report back. If it's crap, I'll tell you if it's crap. If it's good, I'll tell you it's good. But I pretty much know the rifle I'm going to put it on, but we'll see. But yeah, it is an 802. Let's see here real quick. What is your biggest challenge in finding another job, possible relocation? I went through that not long ago, so just curious from your experience. A lot of people have asked me if I would relocate, and I said no. I'm not moving out of Texas. I love Texas, so I told them no, so I'm sure that killed some of them, but it is what it is. Some of it some of it also they're trying to lowball some, I guess, some people. They're trying to lowball them and try to get them to run teams and to do all of this other stuff for less pay. And I know some of these companies, and they could afford to do it the right way. So that hasn't worked out. Um, and some, it's just a different process. Now they want to do like 3 or 4 interviews. Not that that's a bad thing. I guess they just want to make sure they're picking the correct person. It's just, back in the day, hell, I guess I had that job for 15 years, but back in the day, it was like you might have one interview and then you meet the powers to be and boom, but I am seeing a lot of the, 2 and 3 interview things, which is fine. Everybody has different criteria, but it's just also for specific um, jobs. It's, if you just wanted to go get a job working in a warehouse or something, there's a lot of that out there. But, in my field, it's just different. Not that it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's just different. And also, I'm dealing, like I said before, it's the fourth quarter of the year. A lot of people already blew through their budgets. So they don't have the budget to hire a person like me in this year's budget because it's already blown through. So they have to wait till next year. So some of these places have said, "Hey, we want you. We'd love to have you, but can we, put you off till January?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to wait on that. If you want to give me a chunk of change or something, that's different, but I'm not waiting for you." So I have had that happen, after the first you're in, but you never know. Like I said, I don't wait on something. If it happens then, it happens then. But if it happens before, it happens before. So let me see if there's any quick ones, and then I'll jump off. Which is better, thermal or night vision? I've said this before, I've played with night vision. I've never personally owned it. However, with night vision, if you're in a ghillie suit, if y'all all know what that is, and you're in a ghillie suit and you're hunkered down and nobody can see you, the night vision is not going to see you. So there's that. However, thermal is going to pick you up. So it's going to see your blood flow. It's going to see heat. However, with thermal, like if it's a rock, it could have gotten hot that day. You're going to see that rock, but it's not going to pump like blood. Like in mine, I can see the head. I can see it's heated up here. It's usually hot right here. It'll show heat here. In your chest, it'll show a lot of heat. I can put it on jungle, black and white, red, white. There's all different kinds you can choose from, and it'll actually show up differently, black, white, where it's just black and white, or it almost makes out your organs. That's what I like about thermal. So, and you don't have to wear any headgear and all that stuff. You're just looking through, or you can actually get a handheld thermal and you can look like this and then go to your rifle with another thermal. And if y'all have played in the night vision game or whatever, or seen some of these prices, some of these are 13, 15, 20 grand to get into night vision. Plus you got to get a helmet. You got to get weights for the back to offset it. I mean, there's a lot of cost. With thermals, you can get into a decent thermal for $2,500. And they even have them with quick mounts. I've got quick mounts on mine where I can snap it off and actually use it in my hand, snap it right back in the same place, and it holds zero. So for my needs, thermal's perfectly fine and perfectly capable for everything I need. And I can record from it. Got the app. I've got an app on my phone. I can do live filming it. Mine just does not do voice or any you won't pick up any voice, but I can record everything, which is fine because when I hunt, I cuss and we all joke around and stuff like that, or we're all talking shit. So it's probably good that's not on video, but mine works fine for me. On this one, it does voice and video, so we'll see how good it sounds. Does 45 ACP have superior ballistics to 9mm? Not now in hollow points. In really good hollow points, they're actually, if you really look at it, 9mm will go deeper usually. And some of the ballistic testing Now you're only dealing with gel, but of course 45 leaves a bigger hole. But if you're talking about speed, we all know speed kills, and your follow-up shots are much easier and much quicker. So honestly, ballistic now with good hollow points, your nine's pretty damn close. When do you decide to get a new concealed carry versus trying another holster? It really depends on if you really like that particular gun. If you're not sold on that gun, you might try a different pistol if you don't have a lot of experience. However, holsters can vary. You can have holsters that have really crappy fits that ride on your body like crap, or you can have really great holsters. If you want a really, really good holster that I highly recommend, it's Harry's Holsters. It's Harry's Holsters. And you can use my discount code. It's BJGG, or excuse me, on that one, it's Big Johnson, capital B, capital J, all smashed together. That'll save you 10%, but they are great holsters. Depending on the gun that you're getting, he has a ton of applications, but I have no problems with any of Harry's holsters, and I have tons of them. Great holsters. Yeah, no, I know, Brian. But you're going to spend a ton of cash on that. I mean, they have it where they're all built into that now. I don't really like wearing shit on my head. And also, if you've never shot with night vision, it's definitely different because of, you're wearing this and you're pulling your head away, but you've got an aiming device, like a PEC, a laser aiming device. So, I mean, it is definitely great for speed, but it all depends on what you're looking for. There's so many different variables. Okay, I don't want to jump on, or I don't want to interfere with Chris's chat, so I'll just answer this. Big J, I have a question for you. I know you're very knowledgeable. I have a Shield Plus. I have it, and I have a little problem. I have used a lot of different ammo. I have a copper ring that develops by the bar. I'm not sure what you're talking about on the bar. If you're talking about, well, I mean, you're going to get copper, and especially if you run a Gila ammo, that's very, very common. So if you're running a Gila ammo, it's very common to have the copper ring. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. That's just what it does. So that's super common. Blazer brass can do a little bit of that too. Doesn't mean that it's wrong. You could clean it, lube it. A lot of that stuff just wipes right out. And then if you're talking about where it's actually going to the chamber, you're going to see wear marks. So that's totally normal too. Thermal can see through walls. Yeah. Oh, barrel. Yeah. Barrel, have you seen this before? I use different ammo. Is this normal? I did have a failure to feed because of this. I'm worried about carrying it now. The Shield Plus is actually a really good pistol. It's not common for that. I would run a bore snake through your barrel, just clean it up, wipe it down, lube the barrel on the outside. Don't put lube in the inside of it. Just lube it down and just shoot the dog shit out of it. Um, it could have just been an unseated round. I don't know if you're using reman or new ammo. Some reman can have weird crimps and cause issues. I would just keep running it. And if you feel comfortable at carrying it, then carry it. If you don't, then get something else. Thoughts on 124 gold Spear Gold Dot? Good stuff. I'm an HST guy, but Spear Gold Dot is no joke. It's good stuff. I even have it too. Yep, and y'all can slap and like that subscribe button like it owes you money. But I appreciate all y'all. I'm going to jump off here. Like Chris, if y'all want to check out his chat, please do. We will do this next Wednesday. And if y'all have any questions or comments, leave them after the chat. Go over to the lock video if you want to be entered to win those lock grips and the base plate. I'll be glad to give those to y'all. I love to share stuff with the subscribers. And depending on if this light works good, this one light, if I test it and it works pretty good, these aren't expensive. But if I test it and it works good, hell, I might give away the other light. I might not destroy it. I might give it to y'all if you want it. So, but I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great night and be safe out there. Love one another. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone.